Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Margaret Mueller. I'm the president and CEO of Exec Club. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome you this evening for another exciting Chicago CEO conversation. I'd also like to welcome all the members of our board of directors that are here with us today. Thank you so much for your leadership and your support of the club. Finally, I want to thank all of our seasoned sponsors who make support of all of the club's programming possible. They underwrite everything that we do. We could not deliver any of these programs without them. We're really, really grateful for all of your support. We encourage you to participate in today's discussion. I know they have a lot of questions, but Michelle's going to try to get to some of your questions. So just text EXEC, E-X-E-C, to 22333. That's in your program, so you don't have to write it down or remember it. And if you'd like more information about today's speakers and upcoming programs, just scan the QR code on the program. It'll send you to all sorts of great information. And now I'd like to introduce Travis C. Hunter Jr., who is the Chicago office managing partner for KPMG, who's going to introduce today's speakers.
So first thing I have to do is lower the mic because she's taller than I am. So thank you, Margaret. Again, I'm Travis Hunter. I'm the managing partner of KPMG Chicago office and proud presenting sponsor of the Exec Club CEO series. For today's program, we welcome our moderator, Michelle Collins, and our speaker, Dave Kimball, to discuss how the Ulta Beauty brand is committed to moving beauty forward in ways that inspire greater inclusivity and positivity in the world around us. Michelle Collins, a native Chicagoan, is president of Kimbell LLC and a member of the board of Ulta Beauty. As CEO of Ulta Beauty, Dave Kimball focuses on driving strategic growth, innovative thinking, and creating memorable experiences by leading with creativity, data, and a guest-centric approach. He became CEO in 2021 after serving in executive roles with Ulta Beauty since 2014. And throughout that journey, Dave has been a champion of Ulta Beauty, guests, communities, and the company's inclusive culture. Prior to Ulta Beauty, Dave held marketing and strategic leadership roles at companies across the consumer industry sector, including U.S. Cellular, Seventh Generation, and PepsiCo. Thank you both for being here. I know you have a lot to share with us, so I'm going to turn it over to you to get started, Michelle.
Well, thank you. Well, I will just say that I've been looking forward to this conversation. Dave and I have been working together for like 8 years now, right. And we haven't actually had a conversation like this. Mm-hmm. So this will be very authentic, so forgive any little...
It might just be the two of us.
Right, exactly.
You don't mind, yeah.
But it's been wonderful to, as you stepped into a leadership role here in 2021, it's been wonderful to watch Dave just continue his energy and his enthusiasm, and I've learned that he is a very generous CEO, so that's really something special to say. So I'm going to start at the beginning, with your beginning, and if you could talk to us a little bit about the path that you went on to get ultimately to Ulta, and just what experiences, what your background is a little bit, and just share with the audience a little bit about that.
Great. Well, first of all, I want to thank the Executive Club for having Michelle and I. It's an honor to be here, and thank you all for joining. I'm looking forward to a conversation. And also thank you, Michelle. Sure. And so you'll see today, I'm going to throw some questions back to Michelle. So if you don't know Michelle, lifelong Chicago resident, involved in so much, a big, important part of our community. So she could answer many of these questions even better than I, and been at Ulta almost as long as I have. So it's going to be fun to have a conversation.
Okay, but turnabout's not fair play.
Well, it depends, right? That's how hard the questions are.
All right.
But yeah, as far as my background, so I'm from the Midwest. I grew up in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. Spent the first part of my life. I'm fortunate that my parents still live there. They're both in their 90s now, and live in Indianapolis. One brother, so spent the first part of my life growing up in Indianapolis, and that was a big influence for me as I thought about my path forward in ultimately leading into business. Went to DePaul University in Indiana, majored in economics, and that's what kind of got me started into business. And I'll tell you, most of my high school and college friends, if you'd asked them at the time, would have said, "I think you're going to work at a beauty company." Actually, none of them. In fact, my wife is here.
Okay.
We met in college when we were 19, and I guarantee she did not think I was going to work in a beauty company. Probably that would have been the last thing on the list they would have thought of. But it's just interesting the path that you take. I started in finance, in banking, as a commercial, first a credit analyst, analyzing our commercial clients, and then a commercial lender, and then went back to business school, and that's where I changed direction out of banking into consumer oriented businesses, and that's where I really found a passion of being connected to the consumer in multiple industries, ultimately leading me to here to Ulta 9 years ago.
So you were at Procter & Gamble, US Cellular, PepsiCo.
Yes.
Those great companies. Which one or which ones actually taught you something that was really relevant to your stepping forward today in the beauty industry and in leadership role?
Well, I've been just fortunate and blessed that I had a number of great companies, great experience, learned a lot at all of them. Big companies like P&G and PepsiCo, small company like Seventh Generation in Burlington, Vermont, technology and wireless, which was really fascinating. But I guess there's, if I think about the biggest lesson, it did start at P&G. Actually during business school, I was lucky enough to get an internship in marketing and brand management at P&G. And the way they did that then, and I assume they probably still do it now, is you didn't apply for a specific role or a category. And then, of course, P&G's and everything, you apply to be an intern. And if you get the role, they just say, you're going to work on this brand or this brand. And I was placed on Noxzema skincare in beauty in the mid-90s. And I didn't know really anything about skincare, anything about marketing, because I was in banking before, anything about brand management. So I was just really happy to have it. And I didn't appreciate it initially. I love the company, but what I learned that has really shaped how I think about marketing, and then certainly has helped me here, is starting in beauty in marketing back at P&G many years ago. I learned pretty quickly about the important role beauty plays in consumers' lives, the emotional connection it has. It's not, Tide laundry detergent, it was a huge business for P&G, but it isn't as emotionally connected to consumers and how they show up.
Well, I'm sure some women of a certain age can think about the Noxzema smell.
Yes. It's camphor, menthol, and eucalyptus.
Okay, all right.
A unique proprietary blend that comes together.
That's good.
Right.
That's good. That's
I'll pull some ads out from the
right,
90s.
there you go.
And we'll
Okay.
talk about it.
Well, pretty good. That's great. Well, let's move a little bit to Ulta's beginning. 30 plus years ago, I don't know how many people know that Ulta was actually founded right outside Chicago, but I actually knew it and was really early. It was at William Blair, and it was an investment we had, and went out to visit the Bolingbrook facility and learned about it. And they said they're going to do beauty in a new way. Yep. Okay, so can you talk about, sort of the theory was disrupt the industry, and can you talk about what they were doing then and how we continued that to disrupt, but then also for what Ulta was like when you joined it, and where we come to so far, and then look forward a little bit.
I didn't know that about you. You were connected early.
Always have some secrets, right?
So, one of the things among many that I really have loved about the Ulta Beauty experience is understanding where we came from. And we were started by two entrepreneurs here in Chicago. They actually came out of the drugstore business and had an idea. And I've gotten to know one of them fairly well. Neither have been involved in our business for a long time. But I've gotten to know one of them to hear him describe what they were trying to accomplish when they wrote the business plan for Ulta Beauty. And it was, as Michelle, as you said, it was about disrupting the beauty category. They did market research back in the late 80s, I guess, that really tried to understand what was missing in the category. And what they found is most what we now call beauty enthusiasts, those consumers that are highly engaged in the category, shopped across price points and across categories. Yet the industry was largely set up to have mass products in drugstores and mass like Walmart and grocery stores, and then more prestige or luxury products in department stores. And that was a industry dynamic, not a consumer-driven dynamic. And so they said, well, we think we can provide a different experience, one that reflects the way consumers really want to shop in beauty. And so that insight was key, and that still drives our business today. And we continue to be on this journey, what we call all things beauty, all in one place. All price points. We're the only ones that have entry-level price points, brands like e.l.f. and Maybelline and L'Oreal. Prestige products like Tarte and Too Faced, luxury like Chanel and Dior, and every price point and brand in between. And so we have the broadest assortment. And so that was a big part of it. We have salons in every store. There was an idea to how do you bring an experience to life, have not just products, but services. And that was unique and still is unique. And I'd say probably the most important thing that was in the original mission statement for the company and still describes what we try to do today is to create an environment that's just fun and playful, and this category is important to our guests' lives, and it should be fun. And so we try to take the intimidation out. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming, beauty, and just try to make it a place where you can come in on your own terms and discover. And so those things still hold true. The category, of course, has evolved quite a bit. Consumers engage in very different ways. The role of wellness and self-care has connected very deeply to beauty, the brands we carry. But now here we are with 1,355 stores and 50,000 associates, but many of the same things that were in that original business case differentiate us today and are the pillars in which we try to drive our business going forward.
So you talk about the stores as being the heart of the Ulta Beauty experience, but as we move forward, technology, innovation, digital, just name it, enters the landscape. How do you think those things are going to affect Ulta Beauty and affect that experience, that what is very personal, and how will that evolve?
Well, we've found that all of the technological advancements in retail and beauty have actually reinforced and elevated the physical. And so we're in beauty, retail's gone through a lot of transition over the last 20 plus years. And then certainly the pandemic, when we had to shut down all of our stores, made everybody think, what's the role of future role of physical retail? What we have believed for a long time, and we're certainly seeing now, is the reason we talk about it as the heart of our company, the physical retail experience, is because that's where most guests want to shop for beauty. They like the idea of coming in to be able to touch and feel and smell and discover, and to get help from highly trained associates that are there to help guide them but not pressure them, to get services, get their brows done, get their hair cut and colored, skin services. All these things are very, there's a human component to it that can really come to life in its most important ways in a physical environment. Technology surrounds that experience, both outside of the store to make it, to complement that. We engage with our guests. I'll give you an example of what we see on our e-commerce business. If a store-only guest starts shopping us online, their total spend with us goes up 2.5 times, and they actually end up shopping more frequently in physical stores, even as they start shopping online. And that's because they're more connected to the old Ulta Beauty experience. So we don't see a either or. We see a kind of a true intersection. And then there's technology and experiences that help our guests both in and out of store. Virtual try-on is an example. We bought a company maybe 5 years ago that now drives all of our virtual try-on for makeup, and we do brows and hair and skin analysis, and that's the kind of tool that people can do at home, but they can also do it in store.
During the pandemic,
right? And convenient during. So technology is really a complement and another touch point that we think has made the collective beauty experience even better.
Well, you mentioned the e-commerce business, and we've got 40+ million loyalty customers in the Ultimate Rewards program, which is an astonishing number. 12% of the population, which I learned at the FLC.
Yeah.
And so what do you do with all of those customers, and how do you mine the data, and how do you deliver more value to customers through that? And if you're not an Ultimate Rewards member,
will
please,
sign you
we'll get
up
you
right now.
exactly. I know everybody has to be able to do that. So.
No, she's
Yeah.
very good at that. Yeah, actually, the 12% I hadn't. It's actually more than the population of Canada, and I know we've got the Canadian counselor in here.
Yeah.
But it means that we've got 88% of the population to go.
To go,
So we've got
okay,
a lot of
right,
opportunity
exactly.
to go.
So sign up today.
Go get. Yeah, we're really proud of our loyalty program. It's a big part. It's been part of our business for a long time, and for us, it's really just about trying to engage. We're with our guests, find new ways to delight and excite our existing guests through things like our digital programs, our digital technology. We have a new partnership with Target that gives us another avenue to connect with our guests. And so what we found is the more touch points, the more opportunity we can have, the more ways we can give our guests to engage with Ulta Beauty, the deeper loyalty, the more greater share of their beauty spend they'll give to us. And then we just continue to look at ways to make ourselves more accessible and more inviting to those that aren't part of it. The young consumers, of course, like every business, thinking about what the next generation is. And current teenagers, Gen Z, are very involved in beauty, largely because of TikTok and Instagram. And so they over-index in their beauty engagement than previous generations of teenagers. And so it's a big opportunity for us to make sure we're delivering an experience not designed exclusively for teens, but is relevant. We have the brands and products and experience for them. And so we're always looking at different opportunities across all aspects of the beauty enthusiast mindset. The last thing I'd say on this is we don't look at our business solely through the lens of demographic definition. We look at it through what we call this beauty enthusiasts, which are just people that are really engaged in the category. They are on TikTok. They do talk to their friends. They are always looking for what the newest product is. And for those that maybe aren't, I think we probably do have some beauty enthusiasts in this room. But if you aren't, just think about what you might be passionate in. If you're into golf, or you're into food, or you're into wine or something, going to shop for those things is not a chore. It's not something, oh, this is like you dread. No, if you're into golf, you like going to see what the new driver is. Well, it's the same thing in beauty for a beauty enthusiast. Yeah. Coming to Ulta is not a chore. It's supposed to be fun. I'm going to discover what's new. I'm going to talk about it. I might bring my friends or my daughter or my mother or something. So we create that experience, and through that continue to grow our loyalty and connection.
Well, you've converted the e-commerce only shopper to a store shopper. That's me. But I just hadn't been in stores mainly because of just crazy work schedules and stuff like that for years and years and years. But after being an e-commerce customer for a while, I was like, well, what's going on in these stores? I got to go see, and it really is a fun experience, and actually learn things that you can do that you don't normally. Yeah,
talking about it, engaging, talking to our associates.
I'm always happy when somebody says, "Can I do your brows?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can."
Right.
So, anyway, so you mentioned Target.
Yeah.
Can you talk about making the decision to join with them in the way that we have, and what has that done for us? What are the pluses of that?
Yeah, it's great. So if you don't know, we started, it's about almost 2 years ago, year and a half ago, started opening up a Ulta Beauty at Target presentation so a new partnership that we formed, which is the first time we've done anything remotely to this, to partner with another retailer that's actually a competitor of ours, because they do have a beauty presence outside of what we do. And so it was a big move, a big strategic move. But what we saw is we saw the landscape and looked through the lens of COVID and then what comes out of it and the way consumers were evolving. And this idea that I touched on earlier is one of the strategic focus for us is to make it easy for our guests to engage in Ulta Beauty in a number of different ways, because they do ultimately reward us with their loyalty if we do that. And so we saw Target, a great company, a great retailer, a great experience in their store. And when we did consumer research, we saw just a natural fit. We talked to both our Ulta Beauty guests, Target guests, and overwhelmingly it's like, yeah, that makes sense. I can get Target and Ulta and Starbucks in the same place. It's like, what else do I need? I mean, I could spend my whole day there, right? And we just heard that so consistently. And so the strategic opportunity, first and foremost, is making it easy for our guests and delighting our guests, and we've done that. And then what we get out of it is we are able to reach a new consumer. There's 30 million people that walk through a Target every week. Many of them are Ulta guests, but a lot aren't, and so we can reach them. And for existing guests, again, we give them a great experience to have another touch point with Ulta that reminds them, hopefully, how much they love Ulta, and reminds them and then because of our loyalty program and the strength that we have, we've got data and insights that, Michelle, you go in and you shop at Target and you buy Mac for the first time at Target. Well, we can now see your Mac. You started to engage, and we can introduce you to the whole Mac experience at the full physical Ulta. So it's all kind of connected, and they've been great partners, and we're excited about continuing to grow that.
That's great. Well, so I know, since you've been CEO, the company has just been on fire, and looks like it was easy and like such a pleasure, but I know that there are challenges from time to time. And so can you talk a little bit about what the challenges might be running a $10 billion plus company today and what that looks like?
Overall, it's been awesome. I mean, I just love it. It's such a great company, and it's such a great team. And we've got a couple of tables of Ulta teammates here that make it fun every day, and it's a great culture and great environment, and we feel like we're doing important work in the world around us and delivering a great experience for our guests. So most of the time, it's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
But there, of course, like anything, there are some challenges, and I'd say the biggest challenge that we're facing right now is a rise in retail theft, organized retail theft, and just a general rise in just some of the societal changes and challenges and dynamics that are going on around us, around our stores, around our team, that then come into our stores. And there's no easy answer to that. Theft, unfortunately, part of retail probably forever has been some level of theft and shoplifting, and that's something that we know how to manage and we're able to adapt to. But what's been happening more recently is this organized retail crime, where groups come in, brazenly come in, 5 of them, 10 of them, 13 of them, 15 people come in with bags and just sweep products off the shelf, knowing that that they're not going to get stopped, because we don't. The last thing we want is our associates getting into any physical altercation, and so there's a lot of systemic problems that are driving that are both some of the societal challenges that are going on, the sometimes a lack of consequences, even if you do get caught, the low likelihood perhaps of getting caught, and then the ease of distribution, largely through online marketplaces that make it really easy to sell stolen products. So there's a whole lot of reasons that are going on, and that's elevated a ton over the last 2 years coming out of the pandemic.
And it's all over the country. It's not any one location or anything like that, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, it's certainly here in Chicago, but it is everywhere. It's in big cities. It's in small towns. It's kind of where anybody. And so I was just at the last 2 days in Denver at a conference with district attorneys where we were talking about this issue and trying to understand from their perspective what we as retailers can do to make their jobs easier. Not every district attorney either prioritizes this or has the capacity to go after it, but some do. I was talking to a district attorney in San Diego that is on on it. She's really cool. She's like half surfer, half like badass prosecutor that you would not want to get in front of in San Diego. And so so you learn a lot from those that are in law enforcement in these different parts of the country and the things that we can do as retailers.
Right.
So that I'd say, I mean, there's all the normal challenges of running a business, but that's one that is a little bit beyond our control, and so we're working across other retailers to try to resolve it.
All right, well, we're starting to get some questions from the audience, which means that I have not even gotten halfway through my questions.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to them first.
Okay.
So here's one. What is Ulta's biggest differentiator from Sephora?
Oh, from Sephora. Well, who's Sephora? I'll ask my team. Do you guys know Sephora? You guys remember? Yeah. No. Sephora's a great retailer. Of course, there are a lot of great retailers in beauty, and I'd say first of all, what we think is nobody, Sephora included, does what Ulta Beauty does. And the key things that differentiate us are the product assortment that I talked about, all things beauty, this experience. And we talk to our guests, and we do a lot of research both with our guests and our competitors' guests. And what they tell us is they feel the ones that love Ulta, and not everybody, and of course there's plenty of people that love Sephora or Macy's or Target or wherever, but the ones that love us say they feel really comfortable coming in, and that's something our team, our store leaders really work hard on, is to make sure we're both hiring and training and developing and encouraging our team to create an experience that you don't feel intimidated. I remember when I started here about 9 years ago, I was one of the first things I was doing is consumer research and focus groups, and this stuck with me. And a consumer said, sometimes outside of Ulta, when she said, when I go to buy makeup, I feel like I have to put on my best makeup to go buy makeup. Okay. And what she meant by that was, I feel like I'm being judged. Like I gotta, like, if I'm going into some other stores, like people are gonna look at me. If I'm not like with the cool kids, then I'm not ready to go. At Ulta, we really try to create this environment that everybody is beautiful and everybody is welcome, and we're not here to judge or to set any specific standard of beauty. We're here to help everybody do what we say, discover their own possibilities through the power of Ulta, through the power of beauty. And Ulta is here to help you on that journey. And so I'd say our experience, our product, our culture, our team, those are the things that really stand out and differentiate us from everybody that's competing in the beauty space.
Well, one of the things I love most about Ulta is its desire to have this positive impact, and especially the work we've done in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And can you talk a little bit about why you think that has been so powerful for Ulta? And as we look forward, how will we continue to deepen our investment in DEI?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's great because if I even just step back from Ulta and just think about the beauty category as I've studied it, observed it. I started in, as I said, a long time ago, and then these last 9 years, been a real focus. And what's become really evident as so many other companies has elevated their DE&I. What's interesting and unique about beauty is if you think about beauty as self-expression, how I choose to express myself to the world, and this idea that everybody is beautiful, that there isn't this singular standard of beauty, and the beauty category has been guilty for years, decades, of creating this one size or one dimension of beauty, what it stands for. And we, along with others, have been trying to evolve that to this idea that everybody is beautiful. And if you think through that lens of it's really about self-expression and bringing how you want to show up in the world of life, inherently it has to be diverse, because every single one of us in this room and everybody in the world, in the country for sure, is uniquely beautiful. And so when that just was a trigger for me as I started understanding that our DEI efforts for our guests are really about giving them an experience and the the platform to help express themselves to the world. Then that's translated into how we how we try to drive as a business. And there's a number of big things that we do, but we've got a couple of key platforms. One is what we call amplifying underrepresented voices. So again, there's been this historic singular standard of beauty. We've worked hard to try to bring to life all dimensions of beauty through a number of different ways in our marketing, in our store, and the products. We've tried to expand our assortment to make sure that we've got products that meet every one of our guest needs. We have a pretty aggressive approach towards BIPOC brands. We've participated in the 15% pledge to make sure we've got a broad assortment of brands from Black-owned, Black-founded brands. So that's been, we're nurturing and building through an accelerator BIPOC brand founders. So that's been a big focus. Our store experience, which I talked about, we've got a big effort on training and developing to make sure that they are prepared to deliver a great experience to everybody who walks in the door. So it's
our board is very diverse. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take some credit, and I'm going to give some credit to you on that. Yep. But we've got over 50% women. We have 35-40% people of color, and and I think one of the things that we're trying to accomplish with that, not only have all those voices in the boardroom because they affect some of the decisions that you guys make, but also to be a good example for what we want to do in the company. And do you want to talk a little bit about that at all? I know some of the goals I might have for us.
Well, I'd love to, because Michelle is my favorite board member. For sure. I mean, by far,
so
like
smart.
number one. I mean, way up there. No, I think, well, you and I joined the company in different roles, of course, but roughly around the same time.
That's
and we've had a real focus to bring a lot of different voices. Yep. And then we've had some evolution on the board with some new members coming in, and really intentionally, both from skill set.
Younger, on an average,
and background. And so I'd say, I feel really fortunate to have a board that's so supportive of our efforts and our team, and also brings a real well-rounded, as you described, the diversity. But I don't know. You've experienced more boards and different environments. So how do you see it?
Well, Ulta is singular. I mean, it is really quite unique, and I think the receptivity is really unparalleled. I think the energy and the commitment is obvious, but one of the proof points, I think, is not only just the board, because we can do that, but actually as people come up through the company, getting higher levels of leadership, executive team, people like that, making it more diverse, and I think we've made good progress, but we still continue to strive. We have our resource groups and activities and things like that are really focused on promoting the diversity. And I think, as you mentioned, the brands that you work with and trying to incubate some companies that, hopefully could use some help in terms of getting their product out and on our shelves and hopefully beyond with others. So it's a journey. We're never finished, but I think we've made really good progress, and in my experience, has been one of the best experiences, and I hope we can continue to do that. So we'll go from. I'm going to switch now and ask you really quickly. I got a little heads up here. One question is, does Ulta work with startup founders, and do you offer programs to support emerging brands in the beauty and wellness space, and do you have any incubators?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that quick? Yeah, no, yes. In fact, I'm not sure if we've got, I don't know if we have anybody from our merchandising team here, but we do a ton with that. In fact, it's one of the best things about about the beauty category is the level of entrepreneurship. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many entrepreneurs that are creating new brands and new experiences that are really changing the industry. And so we have a whole program. We've got what we call Sparked at Ulta Beauty, which is designed specifically for small brands that are just getting started to help them nurture. We had a Muse Accelerator, which was specifically for BIPOC brands to give them some exposure to how to succeed in retail in general, not just Ulta, but certainly at Ulta. And so, yeah, you look back, it's just interesting when you look back over time. You go back all the way to even like Estee Lauder, and when she started that company in the 40s. I mean, it was just the entrepreneurship, and she went door to door, like rolling up her sleeves, trying to disrupt. And then you go all the way through history to brands that are disrupting today. There's a long history of new brands, and that's a big part of what we try to do and deliver a great experience.
That's great. So clearly Ulta is very women-centric, the majority of our customer base, but do you see an opportunity for men as consumers online or in your stores?
Yes, yeah, for sure. And we definitely, we are. I mean, the majority of our guests and our products, are women. But we've got a strong men's business today. We've got men's fragrance, hair care, skin care. It's a growing space. Men are taking it more seriously. Younger generations of men are more engaged. There's even, and it just historically hasn't been a big part, but there's even makeup brands that are being developed specifically for men. And so it's an area that we already have a business.
Well, I just glanced at the Vogue, the article this morning after the Met Gala, and I just noticed the number of men wearing dresses and having long trains, and Lil Nas with no clothes on it was just, I mean, there's something for everybody, and so, I think we can follow that trend, and, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that goes back to this idea that
Thank you.
Yeah, we will try to keep our clothes on at Ulta Beauty.
Yes.
That's probably one thing, but beyond that,
all right. Well,
everybody's beautiful.
You don't have many hard rules, but that's a good one.
That's probably
a good one. Okay.
That's probably one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take it to a little bit of a serious turn.
Yes.
So, as CEO, do you have any advice to any of these potential CEOs out here, or people who are working to get up the ladder?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm proud of what I've done, but I don't know if I've got like all the playbook.
Maybe I should ask your wife.
She would have more. I don't know. I just look back. I guess as I kind of reflect, as I stepped in this role almost 2 years ago, I was kind of reflecting because it's obviously a career milestone for me, and I was like, what kind of reflecting on how I got there, and for sure, family, my parents, my wife were a big part of that, having a support network that my kids that supported me all along the journey. I, like many of you, reflected on mentors and key people I interacted, either leaders or others, that helped me, either in very overt ways or in hindsight, unexpected ways, and kind of recognizing that along the way and reflecting. And then, for me, it's just multiple experiences. And like I said, I had no idea in the world that I'd be, working at Ulta Beauty, even 15 years ago, 12 years ago, let alone doing what I'm doing now. So, the journey, the collection that you have of experiences, just kind of make the most of every moment that you've got and learn along the way, try new things, help others along the way, and you'll get help too. And I think the collection comes together, and that's certainly the benefit for me.
Well, and I'll just give you a little suggestion here. One is, and that is to be patient, because you have been, you have the talents, and you've had the talents for quite some time, and yet we had a great leader before, and you kind of waited your turn, if you will, and just were patient with the process, and hopefully that was rewarding for you, and for us, we certainly think it was worthwhile. And so I think that's the other thing is, there's always ambition and energy to try to get wherever you're going as fast as possible, but also take the moment to really assess if you've got something pretty decent, hold on to it and be patient for the right opportunity.
Great advice, yeah.
Okay.
No, for sure. Well, for everybody, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I experienced that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you're anxious and stick with it.
Exactly. Of course. Anyway, I won't say anything about being older because you naturally get more patient as you get older. But so now I would just want to touch a little bit on, you spend some time in the community. I know you don't have a lot of time. You've got family, you've got the company, you're on the road a lot. How do you give back to your community? It's an important point. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important for all of us. We're in a wonderful city that has so many positives, but a lot of things to try to work on. And I'm actually just get ready because I'm going to flip it because Michelle has done so much for our city. No, seriously, and love to hear your perspective on this. But I just think it is important to find ways to give back in big and small ways. I'd say broadly, Ulta Beauty is trying to do that in a lot of ways. We've got a lot of our leaders, probably pretty much everybody that's here is involved in different ways around the community, and we try to support that and engage in our communities, both here in Chicago, our hometown, and across the country. But for me specifically, I try to get involved in as much as I can to both help the city advance, bring our business voice in, and then personally, I've been involved in a few organizations. Probably the one I'm really proud of is on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Metropolitan Chicago. Have been for number of years. That stems out of I was a big brother myself when I lived in Indianapolis, when I was working in banking back a long time ago, just out of college, and that really shaped me. I learned a lot out of that. Actually had the pleasure of reconnecting with my little brother, who's not so little right now. He's got four kids of his own and lives in Richmond, Indiana, and is a friend now. But that I see the power of that organization and the impact it's had in Chicago and around the country through mentorship and one-on-one help. And we need it. We need it in Chicago. We need it in lots of other places. So finding those places to give back, I think, is really important. And you've done a lot.
Well, in the company, I think Nicole Robinson's here somewhere. She from the YWCA, and which Ulta has been partnered with over.
Important partner of Ulta.
Yeah, exactly, which was really wonderful to hear about that. And but I do, just personally, I'm born and raised in Chicago and love the city. There's no place like it, and but it won't stay that way if we don't put in. I mean, I get a lot of personal satisfaction. I feel very fortunate to be able to do that and spend a lot of time doing that. Yeah. But, it's also an obligation because the city will only be as good as we invest in. So, so whatever the challenges, we can face them, and I just feel like we have to lean in and make it better, always. Yep. Sort of using the Ulta philosophy.
That's right.
But for the city of Chicago. So let me just ask you, just as the city and other places are kind of facing challenges, big pluses, but also challenges. What's your take on what we can and should do here?
Ahead of us. Well, first of all, I love Chicago. It is such a great city. I've lived here now. My wife and I moved here. It's easy for me to keep track of because our daughter was about 6 months old, and she graduates from college in a week and a half.
Oh, awesome.
And so, yes, I know. Thank goodness. Right? And so she turns 22 this month. So we've been here about 22 years. And what a great and grown up in the Midwest. Came up here a lot when I was a kid, and just kind of the pillar of the Midwest. It has so much going for it. So I mean, I just love the cultural aspects, the neighborhoods, the food, the lake, the sporting teams. Even though other than the sky, it's been a drought for a while on our sports, but the sky carried it for us. So much going on. The business community, but of course Chicago, like other cities, has gone through a lot in the pandemic, and so I guess the way I feel, for me, and I think that's certainly how we see it as Ulta Beauty, as a corporate citizen of the greater Chicago area, with over 3,000 associates and an important part of our history and heritage is we're here to not to complain about the problems, which every city has problems, or point fingers, but to be an active part and a participant in trying to find a path forward, and to be because there's big challenges, and we've got a new mayor coming, and there's going to be a whole new set of ideas, which is great and exciting. And as I think about it, now's a chance for all of us in this room, like step up, deliver, support, our new mayor. Lean in, find ways, even if you don't agree with everything that he says. I think everybody should agree this is a great city that we want to thrive, and so let's kind of lean in and find the ways.
Yeah, I'm all for it. So, last question before I hit you with the rapid fire questions. So you said leadership starts with heart. What do you mean by that?
Well, again, I guess when I stepped in this role, I just thought I did reflect a lot about, how I got here and what had shaped my experience, and how I think about, I just feel so honored and blessed to have, over 50,000 associates across the country, and such great passion and culture. And so, how did I think about how I wanted to show up as a leader, and how I think I have been? And for me, it does what I describe it as. Starting leadership journey with heart. And what I mean by that is starting with care and compassion and empathy and inclusivity, the simple idea of just caring for others around you. And what I've reflected is those leaders that I've been most inspired by, including going back and seeing my dad, and when he was working, and I remember at his retirement party, I could tell, like, people not just thought a lot of his work and what he did, but who he was as a human. And I was inspired by that, and been inspired by many other people over time. And I found, like, if you start there with just the simple act of caring for others that you're around, then great things. And then we tried, at least I tried at Ulta, and we try to surround that with ideas like we work as one team. We've got one Ulta Beauty that's together. We're not fighting as functions, and at the same time, where we care for each other, we hold each other accountable, and we stay true to our founder's mission of being bold and disruptive and changing. So you can have heart and still try to, kick some ass in the marketplace. It's kind of how we think about it. And so that's, it's a bit of a balance there is how we try to do it. But to me, it just starts, and just kind of how I think about it, and it's who I've been inspired by, and
That's awesome.
It's how I try to lead.
That's great. That's wonderful. Okay, now the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite Ulta Beauty product?
Well, let's see. Yes.
There's something for men. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
right,
again, it's like
women's
everybody's
product.
Beautiful, every product. So yeah, we're fortunate. We have.
What blush do you wear?
Yeah. Well, I'll say, so we have over 600 brands, 25,000 items at Ulta. I love it all. But I'd say, if I had to pick one, my favorite brand is our Ulta Beauty collection, because we make it, we own it, we drive it, my team. So, and if you haven't tried this, we have a shower flower, and a eucalyptus shower flower, and it is.
I have that. Yeah.
If you want to get a start to your day, you take this shower flower, you put it on the floor of your shower, and the hot water just creates this eucalyptus heaven in your shower in the morning, and gets you going. And so, Ulta Beauty collection eucalyptus shower flower.
Got it.
Buy it. Yeah. Try it.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Your wife's here. She's going to keep you honest. She's
Right,
gonna
and
keep you honest.
there are Ulta Beauty gift cards. You can go spend that all on Ulta Beauty collection shower flowers. So there you go. Yeah.
Okay. First thing you do in the morning.
Well, I shower with Ulta Beauty. No, let's see. I do try it. I prioritize trying to try to get up early so I can go outside, take a run, try to get down. I don't live that far from the lake, so try to run down, just try to get outside before the workday starts.
Okay, good. I figured you were going to say that. Okay.
Hey, wait, though. What's your favorite Ulta product? Michelle?
I have two. Can I say? Okay,
yeah.
My current two are, so pattern hair stuff.
Oh, yes.
Shower.
Yep. Tracy Ellis Ross's brand, relatively new.
Exactly, yes.
Awesome, yeah.
Nice colors and bold and everything.
Yeah.
And then the other is, get this one, the Carolina Herrera, the perfume.
Good girl.
The shoe, yeah, exactly. What, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Right, yes, good girl. Yeah,
Well, I get the one in the pink, but then there are lots more colors now, so I have to try them. So anyway.
Very distinctive packaging,
yes, exactly.
and yeah.
Well, my housekeeper notices when I don't have it. She's like, "Where's the shoe?"
Yeah, right. The shoe frag, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
great.
That's where currently what I'm on. So I know there isn't one, but I'm going to ask anyway. Dream job other than Ulta Beauty?
Yes. I would like to be an adventure travel tour guide.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought everybody wanted to be a singer, No,
nobody,
No.
wants me to be.
Okay, all right. Favorite place in Chicago?
The lake, anywhere along the lake. I just love being around the lake all year round, but of course in the summer, being in the lake, swimming, being on a boat.
Very good.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw Marilyn Gardner come in here, right, for Navy Pier. It's right by the lake, right?
Well, there you go. Yes. So, what's your? I mean, you are a lifelong resident here. You probably have a lot of favorite places.
I do. I have a few. Navy Pier's one.
Yes.
Museum of Science and Industry is another. But Promontory, the Point, right in Hyde Park, is absolutely my favorite.
That is beautiful. Not too far from the.
That's right where I live. Yeah.
And the Science and Industry Museum.
That's right. Exactly.
I was just at the Shakespeare Theater out on Navy Pier. That was fun. We saw a great show out there.
Yes,
so that is a great asset.
Chicago's great. Anybody who's not from here,
That's right.
It's like the best city in the world.
Yep.
Okay, last one. Top Mother's Day gift recommendation.
Yes, the gift card. No regifting. All right. Can't say, "Hey, Mom, I got you this great thing."
They can track that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes, we're on it through our data analytics team. We're tracking how you use that. Yeah, I'd say so. Actually, it's interesting. Mother's Day is the second biggest holiday for us outside of Christmas and the end of the year. It's a big thing for us. Fragrance. I'd give if you don't know exactly what to get, go to an Ulta Beauty. Talk to one of our associates, whether it's Carolina Herrera. We've got Chanel, Dior, been down, Ariana Grande. We've got the widest collection of fragrance. It's a great gift. It's very popular. We've got gift sets. So I think if you're looking for one, check out the Ulta Beauty fragrance assortment, and you'll probably find something.
Yes, I got my mom a whole bunch of those face masks that that come in those. What are they called again? The Cream Shop, I think, is one, or.
Yes. There's several. That's
but about like 20 of them.
More like a pampering, kind of wellness routine.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll get her some nice gold diamond earrings to go with it, but that'll be good. Right. Yeah.
Well, take care of your mom. Don't tell my mom that. She's not getting diamond earrings.
I met your mom. I'm afraid of your mom, right? So I might give her. I might give her those earrings.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So well, listen. Thank you so much, Dave, for spending this time with us. It was really fun.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
It was great.
Thank you all so much. Let's give another round of applause to Dave Kimball and Michelle Collins, expert interviewing Michelle. You do too good of a job. We're going to invite you back and make you do this again. So that was really, really wonderful. Thank you all for being with us. I was going to tell you, make sure you got your gift card, but you all covered that. So that's wonderful. And you also have a really neat compact mirror as well. I hope you can stick around for a bit of networking. We'll be here for a while, but also understand if you have to get on with your day, check our website. We hope to see you all again. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you.